So Minecraft revealed their newest upcoming feature in the most recent Minecraft Live, the dried ghast. You find it in the nether, bring it to the overworld and soak it in water. Then we wait.
And wait.
And wait some more. Until finally, after an unreasonable amount of hydration, you've successfully summoned a ghastling. This might as well have been the entire update because it is simply too adorable, but no, Mojang absolutely cooked with this one. Feed it some snowballs, as you do, and suddenly you've got yourself a Happy Ghast, which is just a nice way of saying hot air balloon of destruction. You can ride it, hover through the skies, and commit various atrocities with your friends. I bet the villagers will not see this one coming. This feature is so good, in fact, that I decided to go ahead and add even more happy mobs to the game, because clearly, what mob wouldn't want to be exploited by Steve himself? I call this the Happification update. There are a lot of mobs in Minecraft that are naturally sad, mobs that have never known joy, mobs that deserve better, and the first, most obvious depressed mob in the game is the Creeper. Introducing the Happy Creeper. The Creeper is a strong contender for the unhappiest mob in the game. This poor guy has been wearing the same miserable frown for more than 15 years. It literally wakes up every morning with the singular goal of self-destruction. That is certainly not healthy. So I decided it was time for an intervention. Instead of finding a dried creeper shriveled up somewhere in the cave, the only way to get a Happy Creeper is by offering it some help. The Creeper is clearly depressed, and let's be honest, it's been having dark thoughts for a long time. But why is the Creeper so sad? As it turns out, the main cause for the Creeper's depression might be loneliness. Creepers spend their entire lives watching players run away from them. They receive no hugs and they don't get to socialize. Instead, they face eternal social rejection. So to turn a regular Creeper into a Happy Creeper, I gave it some friends to hang out with, and I also gave it a brand new girlfriend. On top of that, I signed him up for Ashton Hall's 8 grand training program so it can finally turn its life around. After completing these steps, your Creeper finally achieves inner peace. It no longer wants to blow itself up, and instead it transforms into a Happy Creeper, which of course still causes chaos, but in a much more productive way. Now you might be wondering, what is the point of a Happy Creeper? Well, just like a Happy Ghast, you can ride it, but since it's no longer depressed, it doesn't explode itself anymore. Instead, you get to launch TNTs from its mouth toward enemies. But make sure not to overwork the Creeper, otherwise it will start questioning its purpose all over again, and get depressed after figuring out that you've simply been using him and will proceed to blow you up. It also has a special feature where if it's particularly happy, you can launch a ballistic missile that can wipe out an entire village. The Creeper also goes on to make motivational morning routine videos to inspire other Creepers to become happy as well. So now instead of being a walking tragedy, the Creeper is a high-speed, long-range missile system. Now this is what I call character development. But the Creeper is only the beginning of the happification process. Iron golems are notoriously overworked and underappreciated. Have you ever noticed their red eyes? That's not because they're angry, it's because they are permanently sleep deprived from spending every single night defending an entire village alone, just so these ungrateful villagers can sleep peacefully, completely unaware of the horrors lurking outside their doors. This is not just a sad mob, this is a worker on the verge of burnout. But now, you can finally give the Iron Golem the boost it so desperately needs. 1 cup of coffee is all it takes to create a happy Iron Golem, which is a fully energized, highly motivated, and potentially unstable version of its former self. The moment the caffeine kicks in, everything changes. Instead of slowly whimpering around, the Iron Golem suddenly speeds up, zipping through the village with newfound caffeine addiction. It reacts instantly to threats, launching zombies into orbit before they can even process their bad life choices. But the real highlight is the hug mechanic. Once mounted, the Iron Golem allows you to give big crushing hugs to mobs, squishing them with overwhelming happiness. And the best of all, if surrounded, the Golem will unleash a hug-based area of effect attack, scooping up multiple mobs at once and squeezing them until they politely cease to exist. Finally, an Iron Golem that doesn't just protect the village, it embraces it, quite literally. But that's not all. The happy Iron Golem can even grab you and throw you far into one direction, making it a decent mount. Just make sure to have a water bucket to cushion your fall, otherwise it's not gonna be an easy ride. Of course there's a small problem. The happy Iron Golem is now hooked on caffeine. The moment it tastes the first cup, it needs more. And if you stop feeding it coffee, well, things get ugly pretty quickly. At first it gets sluggish, moving slower, missing attacks, occasionally just staring into the distance. Then it starts glitching out. Its movement becomes erratic, randomly grabbing and throwing things that may or may not be mobs. And finally, when the withdrawal hits full force, the happy Iron Golem completely snaps, turning on you in a full-blown rampage, tearing through the village at world once protected. But who needs an unstable happy iron golem anyways if you can get yourself a happy Enderman instead? Endermen are usually seen wandering alone, being all lonely, usually with a block in their hands to perhaps comfort themselves and fill in the void of their otherwise lonely existence. Therefore, I'm introducing the Happy Enderman. To get yourself a Happy Enderman, you have to gain its trust and bond with it. But how exactly would you do that? Well, Endermen are not particularly fond of getting wet, so to gain an Enderman's trust, you have to give it distressed Enderman an umbrella while it rains. This unprecedented kindness filled with newly found enthusiasm of being able to walk out in the rain turns the Enderman into a Happy Enderman. The Happy Enderman wears a top hat and follows you around. Your newly acquired best buddy will steal blocks for you and going as far as to commit robberies on your behalf. It can even be your personal builder, placing blocks for you, and best of all, he can pick you up and teleport you wherever you want. Now granted, teleporting a player isn't exactly a science. There's a tiny chance you may lose a limb or two as your molecules get aggressively rearranged, but hey, that's just the price of instant travel. But as with all good things, there's a catch. Despite his loyalty, the Happy Enderman is still an Enderman. And if out of pure accident you look directly into its eyes, well, let's just say it snaps back into reality real quick. So if you've ever wanted a loyal, well-dressed teleporting criminal, the Happy Enderman is the perfect mob for you. But if crime isn't your thing and you'd rather not live in constant fear of accidentally locking eyes with your Happy Enderman, don't worry, there's another option. I am sure we have all been chased down by a Warden before, fully convinced that our time has come. But what if you could avoid that? What if instead of accepting your fate, you could change it entirely? Well, now you can. Instead of running for your life, all you have to do is pop a couple of Ender eyes into the Warden's face, finally giving it back its vision. For the first time ever, the Warden sees the world, and it is life-changing. No longer doomed to the eternal darkness, it experiences the beauty of vision. For the first time, it sees what it has been guarding all this time, and most importantly, it sees you, its savior. Realizing that you were never actually a threat, the Warden undergoes an immediate personality shift. His frown changes into a smile, transforming it into a gentle giant who just wants to appreciate the world it has never seen before. But what exactly does the Happy Warden do? Instead of trying to crush you into the ground, it now follows you around peacefully, like a massive overprotective bodyguard. The Warden's deadly shockwave attack is now repurposed to give giant hug booms that send enemies flying into orbit. The Warden is so grateful for its new sight that it won't let anything lay a finger on you. Forget about getting pet dogs or iron golems, you now have a force of nature as your personal security system. Just like every other mob in this list, you can also ride it to control its attacks, where you can use a concentrated sonic beam to put down anything that dares to challenge you. But of course there's a catch. The Warden, so suddenly overwhelmed by all of the sensory input, will randomly stop to stare at random things, totally mesmerized by them, and all you can do is wait for it to snap back into reality. After centuries of generational blindness, the Warden's new eyes aren't exactly perfect. Its vision is overwhelming, and it occasionally mistakes random things for threats, which means yes, sometimes it might obliterate your pets or wipe out your villager farm, but hey, minor casualties aside, the Happy Warden is a much better alternative to its previous destroying everything that breathes alternative. So if you've ever wanted a giant, unstoppable, occasionally confused best friend, the Happy Warden is the mob for you. If you like the new happy mobs I added to the game and think Mojang should add these, leave a like and subscribe. Actually, I don't care if you do. Bye.